Okay, we're going to talk about lines of symmetry. What is a line of symmetry? Well, a line of symmetry, simply put, is, in geometry, a line of symmetry is a line that divides a shape into two halves. And those two halves are perfectly identical. For example, and if you were to fold those two halves onto each other, they would fit perfectly. They would overlap perfectly. An example could be like this piece of paper. This piece of paper, if I were to divide it, fold it in half, or draw a line down the middle, that would be a line of symmetry, because that line would divide the paper into two halves. And if I were to fold them, they would overlap perfectly on each other. They would be identical. Or let's say a square. Like if I were to draw a square, okay, a perfect square. This isn't a perfect square, but if I did, and I drew a line down the middle, both sides are identical. If I were to fold them over onto each other, they would fit perfectly. They would overlap perfectly onto each other. That's what a line of symmetry does. It divides a shape into two halves that are perfectly identical. And when you fold them over onto each other, put them on top of each other, they match perfectly. Okay, so this would be a line of symmetry on that square. And another line of symmetry on that square could be across like this. It splits it into two halves, and if I were to fold them over, like if I were to cut this, go diagonally on this piece of paper, oh gosh, this isn't going to be perfect. This is not going to be a perfect line of symmetry, but I'll do my best. Okay, see? If I were to put it diagonally like this, I divide the piece of paper into two halves, and if I were to fold it over diagonally like this, across that line of symmetry, let me just do this real quick, people. Okay, I can't fold it over. I can't fold this paper over itself like this. I can't fold it over like this. But if I cut it in half, if I use scissors to cut it in half, then I could fold it over. And they would be symmetrical. So this would also be a line of symmetry because it divides the paper into two identical halves. Again, just like how I did it down the middle. Another one could be like this, horizontal. Instead of vertical, it could be horizontal. If it went across like this, and I put it on top of each other, they would be identical. So that would be also a line of symmetry. So those are lines of symmetry. Lines that divide a shape into half, and both halves are identical. Meaning that if you put them on top of each other, even if you needed to rotate them around a little bit, they would be identical. Alright, stay in school. Octopus.